Good evening. It's an update on my Renken Spitfire about cutting the floor out and things. Maybe look at my eyes. I even wear goggles. I got this shit in my eyes. It's funny. Anyway, the main part of the grinding is over and done with. All the stringers are out, all the floors out, and most of the tail bits that are sticking up are out. Let me show you around. So, for example, in here, yeah. So a lot of this fiberglass unit was fiberglassed on, and there's still a few bits of wood left around here which I'm going to have to sort and finalise, but most of it's out. And now we're on to the final fun bit of cleaning the deck, which is getting rid of all the bits of remaining foam that's stuck everywhere and cleaning out the towels. As you can see, I've also cleaned out the side foam. Now, you may ask, why am I doing that? Because that's buoyancy. As you can see by a patch down there, half of it's not actually attached to the hull. So it's just all over the place. It just breaks off in your hands, big chunks of it. So it's all going to come out, it's got to be redone. When you talk about, there's someone that mentioned on me, on one of the videos I've done, about, he's just about to buy one of these, and how can he tell if the floor's rotten or not? Well, to be honest, you can't. If you jump up and down on it, it may be a bit springy. I mean, it's fiberglass, ply fiberglass. It's going to be a little bit springy, but if it's springy, like you stand either side of where you think screws are and stringers are, and it bounces up and down, then you know it's probably rotten. But to get into it, you need to drill holes and have a look. Now, unfortunately, my stringer, my floor had holes everywhere where they filled it with foam, and then didn't cap them. So there were holes in the floor where it just drained into, and you looked inside of them, and they were black as the ice of spades, and squishy. If it smells funky, smells like vinegar, then yeah, it's not going to be good. This boat's had a hard life. It's going to have a bit easier life by the time I finish with it, but still. Anyway. Where I'm up to now, done with the grinding, as I've made enough noise to wake enough neighbours up around this area. So we're going to crack on with the finishing of the deck, for the hull, get it ready to put the new stringers in, and go from there. Now, originally this boat was made with Baltic pine, I think, something like that, tannalized, covered in fiberglass, and to be honest, they did a shit job. I think it's all done based on money and costs and things. What I found was, for example, there were stringers on the floor that were fiberglassed in, but not fiberglassed to the hull. So when you took fiberglass away, the stringers just came away. They weren't bonded to anything. There's 1 or 2 points around here where the resin seeped underneath it, and that's why it's stuck, and that's the bits that are stuck in the hull. The rest of it, wasn't attached. What's even worse is the floor has fiberglass running across it and up the sides of the boat, so like this, and it wasn't bonded to the hull. I just pulled it away with my fingers. So that 1708 was on the side of that, it wasn't doing anything. It's not good. But it's all going to be rubbed back, keyed in, and we'll have new stuff put in. I'm tempted to put fucking carbon fibre on it, to be honest. You know, a bit of a showpiece. Nice sheet of carbon fibre right the way down the hull. As the floor, clear coat it, make it nice and pretty. Probably won't be hard wearing like that. I mean, you'd just slip arse over tit if you did that. But yeah. My main thing with mine is I'm changing the use of it. It's originally was a power boat, and I'm changing it into a power fishing boat. So I'm extending the cuddy a bit. I'm putting, rather than having a sports windscreen on it, I'm putting a bit more of a cabin roof on it, half cabin on it. Back here where the engine sits, I'm building a box for that, and there'll be 2 seats either side of it that fold up so I can fish off the back. Yeah, should be good. I'm also converting it to LPG, which is going to be fun. So there's 2 80-litre LPG tanks going in. You'll have battery on one side of the engine under in the box. You'll have auxiliary fuel tank on the other side in a box to balance each other out, sort of thing. Then there'll be a secondary battery further up the hull in front of the fuel tanks, which will run all the other electrics. So one will be starting battery, one will be radios and crap, you know. thing about LPG, actually, we'll talk about this very quickly. I've got a 300A unit that goes on there, and that sits directly onto the Rochester carburetor. It has a big pipe that comes off of there, goes down to the reducer, which is where your liquid LPG comes into and reduces it down, turns it back into a gas, which goes up the engine. So I've got that, and I've got the reducer. I'm waiting for 2 fuel tanks, because I'm going to replace the aluminium fuel tank that had petrol in it with something that's cheaper to run in the UK, because over here fuel is ridiculous. I mean, £1.40 a litre, and I'm going to be taking it out and see we don't really pay VAT, and it's just, yeah. But it's a really simple setup. I'm using multi-valve tanks, so they have one unit, one entrance. You have a fill port on it, you have the exit port, you have a electric solenoid on it, and you have an electric fuel tank. So there'll be 2 gauges up on the dash for the tanks, tank A and tank B. Tank C will be unleaded. That will also have the standard fuel gauge in it as well. So it'll be alright, be nice, be interesting. But the reducer needs coolant. Now, the engine was originally raw water cooled. I'm converting that over to closed circuit. But to keep the reducer happy and to make sure it's at a quick temperature, what I've done is I've bought an inline heater block off a diesel. It's 4 little glow plugs in it inside the coolant, and it gets the reducer up to temperature really quickly. And that way I can run it pretty much on gas right away without having to warm the engine up on unleaded. I'll just have the unleaded as a backup, run it occasionally from here and there. I basically want to come into dock and things, because some people don't like, oh, your boat's running on gas, it might explode. Less chance of it exploding on gas than there is on petrol. I mean, half an empty tank of unleaded is more like a small bomb. But these tanks are rated to 3,500 psi, so there's a good chance they won't explode. They vent before they explode. Yeah, it's just flying everywhere at the moment. I'm getting absolutely covered again. Yuck, it's like snowing with cocaine. Not that it snows with cocaine around here. Anyway, so the Renken is now to a point where I'm up to rebuild thing. The stringers, like I say, were originally pine. I'm now going to convert them to a foam. So they're going to be a foam cord, chopped strand, peanut butter bedded into the hull, then 1708 over the top and up the sides to give them strength. They'll be tied all together, and yeah, that should be interesting doing. Not done one this big before. In fact, the last boat I played around with was my grandfather's one, and it was donkey years ago. We didn't replace the stringers. Well, yeah, so we're looking forward to this. Is good fun. Sorry about the beard. I'm looking a bit fisherman here. So yeah. Using my stripes as well for some reason. Yeah. That's the other thing. Boat's going orange and black because why not? No. I'm tempted to call it Sea-Tiger. But I know it's after a US submarine, but I kind of like it. And it's got a roar! Oh my good god, this is sort of full of shit. Right, see you guys later. TTFN.